May, Lebanon Historic Preservation Commission meeting. Jennifer, will you take the roll, please?
George Piper.
Here.
Nicole Wethington. Here. Scott Allen.
Here.
Andrew Anderson.
Here.
Tim Schrock.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum to conduct business tonight. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our January meeting, which was the last time we met. Seems hard to believe it's been 4 months, but I will entertain a motion to accept approval of minutes.
Motion to approve.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the election of officers. I believe we have a president, vice president, and secretary. Is that the, or is it treasurer? Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I will open the floor for nominations for those offices. I guess we'll start first with the office of president.
Can I ask a question, George?
Yes, Tim.
Since I'm new, what are the roles of such offices?
So the president essentially runs the meetings. The vice president essentially runs the meetings if the president is absent. The secretary does little, except run a meeting if the president and vice president are absent.
Okay.
So it's a sort of a in name only. I mean, Jennifer obviously takes the notes and puts those things together for us. So there are not really, those essentially are the duties. I'm not. Why do we have a secretary? Is it just because is that something in the bylaws, state law, maybe, Derek?
It is, but even if you had the secretary running the meeting, you'd have a quorum. So it's who's running the meeting. Yeah. It's
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not, you don't get to be president of the United States or anything like that.
All right. So I will then open the floor for nominations for president.
Yes, I'd like to nominate George Piper as president.
I will second that nomination.
Are there any other nominations?
You open to that, George?
Yes. All right. If there are no other nominations, I will close nominations for president. I guess all those in favor of me as president, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right. Motion carries. Next is vice president. We will open the floor for nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Andrew for vice president.
Guess I'll ask the same question Tim did. Andrew, are you willing to accept?
Yes.
All right. Are there any other nominations for vice president? All right. We will close nominations then. All those in favor of Andrew for vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. And now for the all-important office of secretary. We'll open the floor for nominations for secretary.
I'll nominate Scott.
I will second
If you're
that.
open to that.
Only if there is a Secret Service detail included.
What if there's not? Are you still willing to accept?
Sure.
I'll get you a
Okay.
Snickers
All right.
bar.
Sure.
Any other nominations for secretary? All right. Seeing none, I will close nominations. All those in favor of Scott Allen as secretary, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right. Motion carries.
I'm honored.
All right. Let's see. Old business. I don't believe there's any on the agenda, so we will move to new business. There's a certificate of appropriateness for 115 West Main Street. It's a facade renovation. We will first hear from staff, and then we will hear from the applicant. So, Derek, take us away.
Would now be the appropriate time to recuse myself?
Yep. If you'd like to explain why, that'd be fine.
Yes, this is a project that I am bringing to the commission in partnership with the owner.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Scott will get you a Lebanon pencil. It's the best I can offer you. So maybe even a neon color.
Sticker?
So tonight we have one certificate of appropriateness application on the table for 115. I'm sorry. I put 115 West Meridian Street on the staff report. That should be 115 West Main Street. So note that correction. 115 West Main Street is just west of the alley where the Chop House seats their patrons. The zoning of the property is central business. This property has not been before the Historic Preservation Commission previously. The building is rated as a contributing building, which is a building less than 50 years old and which is compatible with its historic surroundings, or a building which is over 40 years old and whose historic character remains but does not rise to the level of notable or outstanding. This building falls in the first part of the description. It's compatible with its historic surroundings. fortunately. This building is included in the National Register of Historic Places, Lebanon Courthouse Square Historic District. It is listed as a contributing structure on the register. The action requested tonight is for a facade renovation. I'm going to go over each of the elevations. There's a north elevation, an east elevation, and then a south elevation. I will start with the north facade, and I will keep pictures up on the screen as I read through this. So on the north facade, at the first floor, the existing storefront system and entry will remain. And a new second storefront entry will be added within the existing storefront to provide a dedicated entry to the new second floor apartment space. You can see in the photograph, the rendering, that the door labeled number 1 is on the west side of the building, and that is the new door being proposed. The new storefront entry door will be of the same style and color as the existing storefront system. The existing storefront is not original to the building, and its configuration has been significantly altered. The existing awning will remain, but the shingles will be removed and a new standing seam metal roof, matte copper in color, will be installed. At the second floor, the existing wood windows will be removed and new aluminum clad windows with white exterior finish will be installed. The entire facade is also being repainted. Areas currently painted green will be repainted accessible beige, which is Sherwin-Williams color 7036, and all red accents will be repainted taupe, Sherwin-Williams color 7038. There is an artistic rendering of what I just described. The east facade. Belongs facade within the alley. So this is the east-facing facade. At the first floor, 2 existing window openings, which are currently covered with siding, will be restored, and new aluminum-clad wood windows with white exterior finish will be installed to match the existing openings. At the second floor, the existing wood windows will be removed, and new aluminum-clad windows, white in exterior finish, will be installed. There is an existing door opening that has since been covered with siding, which previously served as an exterior stairway. This siding infill is to be removed and new brick to be installed within the existing door opening. The brick will be a ½ inch recessed and painted to match the existing facade. 1 new window opening is proposed near the south end of the alley. The proposed window will help bring needed daylight into the apartment unit and be of the same size and type of the other existing windows, which are being replaced. And again, the entire facade is also being repainted. Areas painted green will be accessible beige, and the red accents will be painted taupe. So you can kind of see what's going on here in this picture. Any questions so far?
You mentioned 2 first-floor windows, correct, on the east facade?
Did. Oh, sorry.
I don't see that on that elevation.
Yeah.
Aha.
There they are, right there. Sorry.
And then on the elevation, I don't recall, I looked at the package. What is that number 2 representing there with the dashed lines on the, toward the north end of the building?
That is the door.
And that will remain, or is that as the rendering showed?
Correct. Just filled in with brick. So what happened there was
You're proposing filling that in with brick, half an inch back. That's
yes. So what happened there was when the city activated that alley, the old stairwell used to go into that space, and the property owner at the time agreed that they were not using that as the access, so they removed it, that old stair well, and allowed for the city improvements to be made. So that's why we're doing that's why not we are, but what the building owner is doing to get access to that second floor space in that north facing facade.
Just to clarify, this elevation has not been updated for the plans yet. The rendering is correct to what you're planning on doing. Thank you.
South facade. At the first floor, the existing door is to be modified. A portion of the existing wall is to be removed to create a small recessed entry to provide more safety and protection for patrons exiting the building. At the second floor, there are 2 existing door openings over the lower roof area. One existing opening has been covered with siding. The siding infill is to be removed and new brick is to be installed within the existing door opening. The brick will be a 1/2 inch recess, same as the door on the east facing side, and painted to match the existing facade. The other door, which serves as a maintenance access door, is to be replaced with a new hollow metal door and frame, painted to match the existing brick. Same as the other 2 sides, the facade will also be repainted, accessible beige for the main color and taupe for the accents. The roof is in good condition and no new work is proposed. There will be new mini splits added, but those will not be anything that we are concerned about here. So to give you an idea of what's going on in the back. So you can kind of see what's going on there with the current door. The door that will just be recessed. There will be very little change from that first floor door. And you can see the T111 siding, if you want to call it that, is there in the space that will be bricked over and painted. And there's your existing door that gives you access to the back, which will be the hollow metal door painted to match the brick.
So just to clarify, Derek, the 2 windows on the first floor, they won't, the one on the left side won't be bricked to match the one on the right side?
Sorry, give me a second.
That makes sense?
I did not address that in my staff report. I'm going to let the applicant answer that one, if you don't mind. So we can delay that question. The proposed changes are not meant to restore the storefront to its original historic facade, but they do enhance the overall structure. Installing windows that align with the original openings is strongly encouraged and being done. The proposed color palette will contribute to a more visually appealing appearance for the building. Staff believes the proposed changes do not have a negative impact on the district or the building, and staff recommends approval of the COA as submitted. Outside of the question about the windows, are there any other questions for staff at this time?
Seeing no questions for staff, thank you, Derek. We'll next hear from the applicant. Can you give your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, Robert Crawford, 115 West Main, Lebanon. That's not my home address, but that's the address we're working on.
That's fine.
Lebanon, Indiana. Thank you for taking time out to hear our presentation this evening. And Derek, thank you for putting that together. Andrew, thank you. I have brought samples for you if you would like. I can approach the bench. You can take a look at this. This would be the accessible beige, the taupe, and the white that represents. Thank you. The intent of that is to brighten the color up of the building, make it more inviting and appealing. The suites that we're building upstairs for the duration of my lifetime that I own the property will be used for extended stay luxury suites marketed towards the business traveler. So they're being designed, their intent of furnishings, internet, even tooling such as a printer, copier, stuff like that is being brought in, and that kind of intent to execute on so that to serve the expanding businesses coming to Lebanon. Being right there on the square, lots of dining, lots of shopping, really a great opportunity to utilize this property for that piece. So again, that's kind of the driver behind the change in color. The other side of it is too, as I'm keenly aware as I walk down Main Street and you look at Main Street, most of the buildings on Main Street are in that section, green and red. So I'm trying to maybe get a little bit, Oaks on Main, yes, they've got the same kind of color palette going as well. So it doesn't stretch too far. In the 80s and up into the early 90s, that building was a similar color of that when Boone County Land and Title was there. I don't think, do we have a? Okay. So it kind of gives you a little idea. Now that was a little different. It was kind of darker. So I flipped that again to kind of bring some more brightness to it, make it more inviting. Additionally, I wanted to do away with the shingles on the awning. The way the building was originally designed, that was all open storefront glass, and that is open void behind that awning now. Therefore, again, to kind of play into the tones of open, inviting, and give it some of that historical presence, we'd come in with that matte copper metal awning. That's my input for design intent for some of the changes we're asking for. I think there were some questions on windows. You'll see the two windows that are on ground level. Those are currently there now and boarded up. We will have to elevate the ceiling in the lower retail space to accommodate that and bring in more natural light to the retail space as well. But I believe there was another question on the windows.
The windows in the back.
Okay. Yeah, walk me through that. So are we
this-
looking at these windows, the lower window?
Even in this picture, I see the two windows there to the right. There's a spot to the left that's also boarded up. Would that one be infilled?
We do not intend to do anything with that. There's that window, and then you're going to see there's another, you can just catch the clip of it over the gate. And the way the back offices are designed, and there's a restroom back there, we wouldn't be able to utilize the windows there because of the way the building's been changed, and there's a restroom and break room in that back area.
Will they be filled with brick
It could
instead of
be.
siding?
We had not had that conversation. We have. So from that perspective, when you look at those two windows, and I think there was the other window on the left side in the back, I think that might have been the question. That has not been addressed from that. Yeah, there you go. So you'll see those windows, those first three. So you've got two on your right, and then the one on the right side of the door. Those are bricked in, and then the one on the left of the door is the T111. It would probably be definitely for that one would make sense to get that one bricked in. And again, the way the stairs come down and where the landing is, and then there's area underneath that, it doesn't functionally make sense to put a window there because of the way the building's kind of evolved over the years.
And just to clarify, the awning on the north side, that'll be metal painted copper and not actually copper, or?
I haven't looked into that deep enough on how that metal matte copper, I've found it online, but I don't know the details of it. I don't know if it's a matte sealant that's on the copper or if it's a finish that's applied to a metal. So I'd be remiss if I sat here and said I know what's commercially available and what's going to be most durable for that.
The reason I ask is, obviously copper over time, it patinas.
Mhm.
And so I didn't know if your plan was to just allow it to naturally age, if that's the case, or to keep it, shiny and looking like new copper.
Okay, no, great question, great input. My intent would be to find something that will not weather and will not require maintenance from that perspective. So that would be my driver in selecting the proper material.
So you're expecting more like a steel roof that is a painted, like I think Kynar is one of the brands. Finish.
Right. Yes, if that is what's available, that would be
Right.
the direction I would want to lean towards from a reliability and durability and something that you could come back to in 10 years and it still have that appearance, that clean, sharp appearance to it. Yes.
Then on the south elevation, on the second floor door, is that going to be just a door for, I guess, to access that area for maintenance, or will there be any kind of a use of that space, that second floor?
So there'd be twofold there. That little back section of the building added on many years ago, and it's now kind of a storage room, and then the stairs that come down, and that's what the slope of that second floor that follows the stairs hits the landing and then come back down. So from a utilitarian point of view, you do have the retail storage section there. There is a back door that allows inside between the main building itself and what we're going to call this utilitarian. There's another entry door to that retail area. So the intent of recessing that back door is to not only for egress of the tenants upstairs from a safety perspective, but also general passage. And right now that door swings in. Code compliance would want us to have it swing out, and that's an active alley. So was looking at it from a safety perspective. If we bring that in to where it's about a 40-inch inset, they can swing it in and they still have this entry vestibule, if you will. Kind of like, so before they go to play the game of Frogger, they can look both ways.
All right. Then what about where the air conditioning unit is on the second floor? Is that going to be any kind of usable space, or is that just basically a flat roof and just, for maintenance of that unit?
Yeah, flat roof utilitarian.
Okay, all right.
This red door we're seeing, that's for egress for the tenants on second floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant?
On the north,
Oh, good. Tim?
sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
On that awning, I see that same copper color on the ends of the awning. Will that be the same color, same material? In the rendering, it's showing that. I can't quite tell if that's standing seam or what that is on the
Yes, that's
east and west ends of the awning.
Yeah, so currently that is painted finish T11, and we'll want to, I personally would like to get away from that because again, wood of that nature becomes a maintenance issue
Exactly.
over the years.
I thought looking at this was like, that's a lot of copper.
Right, right,
That looks like
right.
a large copper piece. I wonder if there could be a color,
Contrasting
something-
fascia, yeah.
let the roof be the roof and then make the trim and the ends be a different
Yeah, that taupe color.
appropriate color.
Yeah, the gable ends and then that front, what we'll call the gutter board, even though there's not a gutter there, that'd probably be taupe because that'd
Would
be
make
part of our
sense to me.
trim.
What material are you some flat maintenance-free material?
Yeah, probably something like LP. LP Products makes a lot of great products now that will at least outlast me, and I'm in my 50s, so If it'll last that, I'm in good shape.
My last comments would just be about we're filling in a lot of spaces we're removing a lot of the T111. And I didn't hear a confirmed answer on that west elevation, right? East elevation.
East elevation.
There's a couple of windows that have T111 in there.
Right.
You said, obviously, it doesn't work to have windows there. Are we filling that in? And also a little bit of T111 above that eastern door.
Yeah, I haven't addressed that. Now, it's like that door there, that's a good example of how that's recessed in. Kind of going back in the conversation just a little bit. The window above that door currently, those are just 8-foot ceilings in the building now. And again, when we raise those back up, we'll be able to accommodate the side windows, which would then allow us to have the conversation about, I'd have to look at the framing of that and how that was all framed in on the, what's that window called above the door? Transom, thank you. I'll take transom for 200, please. So no, that's probably good input there. As far as infilling the brick on all of that, again, I'm here for the conversation. Does that make sense to stay the course? I mean, the brick mason's going to be there. The mortar's going to be mixed. If it has no adverse effects to the framing that's behind it, again, some things I can't speak to right now on what kind of can of worms I may or may not be opening there. So it's kind of, I won't say it's uncharted, it's just, it hasn't been addressed. So I'd be remiss if I said I'm 100% prepared to have that conversation and even know what I'm getting into there.
I just think for continuity's sake, it would look best if it was filled in with brick.
Right.
For the exterior side, at least. And for myself, I'm not opposed to a different material for the transom. I don't know if brick logically works there right now. You've got a vent and something there, but even if you did that, you mentioned that flat LP product for the awning, something like that above the door. But I think the openings, like you said, for continuity of the exterior, at least, if we could fill those in with brick. We're removing all the T111 everywhere else. Why have one or two left?
Right. I get it.
Are you saying to me you will make that a requirement or just a strong recommendation?
Make it a requirement for the east side and the south.
Thoughts on that?
Okay.
Are you open to that?
Yeah, I'm open to that.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to see, make sure that's where you're going. So that's what it sounded like, but just wanted to double check. All right. Any other questions for the applicant? Or any other comments from? All right. This is a public meeting, so if there's anyone from the public who would like to address this issue, they can step to the microphone as well. And give your name for the record, please.
Hi, Missy Krulik, Heart of Lebanon. I just had a question on that. If you brick it in, are you those windows? Are you keeping the sill there underneath the window? I feel like what's there now is not permanent. Hate when you board up a window because it's gone forever. When you brick up a window, it's gone forever. And then when that building use changes and that new building owner wants to reconfigure the first floor, that window's bricked in. And so that's my only comment is maybe another material to fill in that window that is kind of, again, more maintenance free or something that's more seamless with the building. That's just my only comment. I hate bricking in windows, historic windows, because then they're lost forever. And then you might have another owner that comes along and wants to reconfigure the inside and restore that area historically. So that's just my comment.
Yeah.
Thanks, Missy. I absolutely agree. Andrew Anderson, project architect, 1300 Stony Brook Lane in Lebanon. Yeah, I totally agree. I think one thing that I would recommend with with filling in the openings with brick is to not tooth that in or interlock it with the existing brick. By not doing that, it makes it much easier to remove the brick in the future. That's how we specified it for the existing openings that we're showing as infield 1.5-inch recess, so that it pays homage to the existing opening, keeping the sill and not toothing in the brick, so that at any point, if you want to remove that existing brick, the existing opening is retained. So yeah, I would propose that for those windows as well.
You brought up a good point. You are confirming that you would maintain and retain the existing sill and lintels.
Yes, that would be my recommendation and how I would prefer to detail it.
All right. Any other comments from the public? If not, we'll close the public comment portion. So thoughts, Commission, on this project?
Do we need to take a specific vote on amending the application to require the windows to be bricked in?
Yeah, I would encourage that any motion that is made would include that requirement as well. And whether you want to say brick or just something appropriate, I mean, I think I would tend to trust Derek as he works with the applicant and the applicant as well, that they can work together to find something, unless there's something specific that you want to recommend. So
I think we either leave it at bricked in or a material that provides continuity for all the windows.
Commissioner, are you comfortable with that, or?
I guess my proposal, the way that their application is going is going toward brick for many of the openings.
Right.
The one thing I would not want to see is any more T111. I think the applicant obviously doesn't want that either. But since we're already going toward brick, I wouldn't want to see multiple materials.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. All right. I will entertain a motion then on the COA.
I would make a motion that we accept the COA with the provision that the project is revised to show that these particular openings, I believe there was three on the east side and one on the south side, be addressed appropriately in coordination with the whole project. If that.
Okay. We have a second.
Second.
All right. Jennifer, take the roll, please.
George Piper,
Aye.
Nicole Worthington. Aye. Scott Allen,
Aye.
Andrew Anderson.
Yeah. Abstain.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck on the project. Look forward to seeing the renovations to that building. Next item, I believe we do. Do we have a staff issued COA report, Derek?
There has not been any COAs issued by staff since the last
Okay.
meeting.
All right. I saw it on other business. Just wanted to ask just in case.
It's standing item on the agenda.
Sure.
So,
All
yep.
right. And is there any other business that needs to come before the commission today?
I don't have any, no.
All right. Our next scheduled meeting will be June 5th at 6 p.m. A business pending on the agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.